All right, well, the chicken's all finally cooked up, so this is the final product. There's a bunch of jambalaya under there, and then there's just a bunch of chicken stacked up in there, and I'm just going to go ahead and eat that. Whew. Anyway, let's go ahead and give this a little test run, huh? Not exactly the dinner talk format I was thinking of going with, but you know what? That's okay. This one might be a little bit longer than the other ones now that I'm a little calmer and I can sit down and eat. I had some chicken and some jambalaya sauce, man. That is good. Oh, what's that? Gotta leave the water on tonight because apparently it's supposed to be really cold and really brutal. So, oh goodness. I do love wintertime though. Nice thing about winter, it's cold. I can bundle up. I can eat some good food. Ramen is less sweat inducing, I guess. But you know that's kind of how it is when you eat hot food in general. Of course, this chicken's definitely starting to warm me up. I may have to start shedding layers here. Movie, theater, popcorn salt, y'all. Oh, this is gonna be so good. Oh, man. I'll be really glad when the holiday season's over with. It's not even the fact that I work retail. It's just, well, okay, maybe it is, but like, you know, people get really crazy during the holidays, but not even just at retail stores. I mean, they just get crazy everywhere. Traffic, travel, gifts, this, that, and the other. World's already crazy enough as it is. Last thing we need to do is start going crazy on everything else, especially the holidays. Apparently, there's this new AI companion that they've come out with, which, like, can talk and interact with your kids. So I'm like, oh, great, this is the modern-day Tickle Me Elmo situation. There's probably going to be people killing each other to get that for their kid. Because, you know, heaven forbid anyone just actually talk to their child anymore. Got to glue them in front of a tablet or a screen or something just to keep them distracted so they don't bother you, which is lousy. Because you know what's going to end up happening? YouTube is going to raise your children. And what kind of adult is that going to make? I mean, granted, apparently in a lot of countries, folks are starting, that's how a lot of folks are developing English as their second language. Their parents just put them in front of a tablet, they watch YouTube videos in English all day, and so along with the language of their parents, they're also learning the language of, you know, English YouTube, which, that's kind of weird, but I guess whatever helps, I suppose, but still. Oh, man. This is so good. I don't know. This is one reason why I'm still single, you know, because there's just not a lot of people out there that want to actually be parents anymore. Which is dumb, because, you know, everybody wants to have the fun of making a baby, but nobody wants to deal with the responsibility that comes with it afterwards. And then they get surprised, what? Those life-making activities produced life? And now I'm on the hook for it for at least at a minimum of 20 years if I do my job right, and even that's not guaranteed? What? Yeah, you gotta think about this stuff, man. I probably look like an absolute unhinged maniac to a lot of you people, but I don't know, man. What do you do? What do you do when you're alone, you got no one to talk to, and you're broke? Start up a YouTube channel, I guess. Make that ad revenue money. Because, like, Probably shouldn't be eating or talking and vlogging and eating at the same time, but whatever. Like, you look at a Yahtzee from Fully Ramblemanic. I don't watch the stuff anymore. I don't particularly care for his attitude on stuff, but his whole fortune is based on his ability to swear in a way that's amusing enough to folks to where they're willing to throw money at him for it. He's a dancing monkey who got lucky, yeah? Apparently, he's a high school dropout, but, he still managed to make a good living for himself, which ain't that a racket? Some people go out there and they just kill themselves trying to do everything the right way. Meanwhile, you get, people like Taylor Swift making a fortune off of her inability to maintain a stable relationship. That was the joke. All of her songs were breakup songs. And now she expects all of us to believe that now that she's getting married, that this is going to be her happily ever after. You know what? I give this marriage 6 months, if even a year. If it even lasts that long. And then she'll just come, and now instead of breakup songs, she'll be writing divorce songs or something. I don't know. But what I do know is she's in her mid-30s. The makeup and the plastic surgery ain't going to be able to cover that up for much longer. So now she's going to settle down with a guy, because now that she's had her fun, she's going to settle down with this guy, and then they're just going to ride off into the sunset, which is what every woman her age tells themselves. I've had my fun, now I'm going to settle down. Now I'm ready for something. I don't know, but I don't think this is going to last. I mean, she's expecting everyone to believe she's got this happy fairy tale life. She's a celebrity. They're all wackadoos, man. Even the lower tier ones. I mean, look at Hassan Piker, for crying out loud. He was apparently the liberals' darling there for a while, and now nobody touches him with a 10-foot pole. Even the folks that he's intentionally trying to court and you have to throw money at him. I mean, it's so funny, right? I mean, think about it. Hassan Piker, his uncle is this big, media tycoon or whatever, and apparently his daddy was some rich dude over in some other country or other, and he sent him to the U.S. so he wouldn't get drafted. Ha! But then he goes and he talks on and on about China and how great China is and communists. Oh, I'm all this. I mean, just going he's like that dude that's trying to impress a girl he really likes by showing just how 100% into her hobbies he is. And they don't want nothing to do with him. Meanwhile, you got Osmongold, a dude who could not care less about China, and they all love him. And it's like, oh yeah, oh, we love the Cockroach King. And I'm like, I mean, that's hilarious. It's like the dadgum 11th Man theory from that movie. I think it's called What Is Love? It's got the guy who played Samwise and Shaggy and a couple other famous dudes in there, but he talks about the 11th man theory, right? So the 11th man theory is you got this gal and she's at a bar and there's 10 dudes around her, right? And they're buying her drinks and they're complimenting her and they're, showering with cash and money and prizes and all that stuff. And then the 11th man walks in, takes a look at her and says, hey, what's up? And then he goes and hangs out with his buddies and he doesn't pay her any attention. And that is the guy that she's going to want to go home with. And it's the same thing with China Asmongold. Asmongold is the dude who doesn't care. And because he doesn't care, he's the one that China is wanting to, whatever. I mean, to what degree it's the people in the government, I couldn't tell you. But it's so hilarious that it seems like the only way to land the attention that you want from anything is to either genuinely not want it or be able to BS your way so well to where you convince everyone that you don't want it, and then they, just because you don't want it, they then suddenly feel compelled to shower you with it. It's crazy. And I don't know. I guess that's a punctuation point for that sentiment, I guess, but what a racket though, huh? I mean, YouTube basically turned everyone into a sort of Paris Hilton, Because before you had YouTube, you had the gossip magazines, you had teen magazine, that's what you basically had. Yeah, you had the internet, but everyone still got their stuff through paper magazines and stuff like that. And Paris Hilton was famous for being famous. Like, she was just, oh, yeah, I'm rich and I'm popular and all that stuff. Now, credit where it's due. She ended up turning her life around when she ended up getting it was some, like, traffic violation or whatever. And apparently she's really, truly made a good turnaround of herself, which good for her. But YouTube kind of makes it out where it's like, anyone can make money by being, interesting or charming or popular. And everybody thinks it's so easy. I think it's kind of easy. I mean, I don't know if it's easy or not. But, I keep seeing all these motivational videos and stuff like, put in the work, go out and do it, work hard. I'm like, you know what? Why not? Why not? I got a lot of free time. I've got my job, but I don't have anything else going on. Why not try and make a YouTube channel? I've tried to do stuff like cultural reviews and cooking and all that stuff, but you know what? Maybe I should just rant and rave at the camera until somebody decides I'm interesting enough to fund or whatever. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I'll be able to fist bump Nugs Taku one of these days. That'd be crazy. That chicken. So yeah, I guess that's where I am. And you know what? If I fail, at least I'm having fun doing this. I guess really that's the true success. Because, I watched someone make an interesting comment. It was a scene from a movie or something. I don't know. I don't remember. I wasn't watching the video, but I heard the guy talking. And he said, you can have skill. You can have all the natural talent. You can have all the right things going for you. But talent is never going to beat obsession. Because obsession is literally banging your head on a rock over and over again until the rock finally breaks. You keep doing it over and over and over again until something happens. Is that the definition of insanity? Absolutely, because you bash your head on a rock enough times, all genuine seriousness, all you're going to do is give yourself a cracked skull. But why not? I don't know, man. And I'm always having people who say, oh, you got such a pleasant voice, which I don't know if I believe that, but, oh, you got such a pleasant voice. Oh, you should be a stand-up comedian. Wow, you got the gift of gab. All true feedback that I've gotten over the years. Never really thought I had the stuff for it because, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and do something in front of a camera. And then I would kind of, it's that thing that you do when you're starting out on something. You try to imitate what other people do. And it doesn't work out, It just, because you're not being you. You're trying to be someone else, and you can never be anyone else but yourself. Like, okay, this is probably going to get me some hate from certain communities, but, that's why I've always found the whole trans ideology thing a little self-destructive, because are there true believers of all that out there? Sure. And then, of course, you've got your grifters who just say that so they can get the social media points. But I think that there are some people out there who, they're trans because they genuinely believe that they will be happier being anyone other than themselves, Now, to what extent, I couldn't tell you. And listen, I'm not trying to bash anyone or criticize anyone or anything like that, but I feel that is what happens. A lot of people just so desperately wish they could be someone other than themselves, and they go to extreme lengths to change everything about themselves, to completely erase who they are. And you can't do that. You can't erase who you are, because you will always bleed through the cracks no matter how much cement you put over, your facade and such. So maybe the trick is just be sincere, be chaotic, be, the version of you that you just naturally are, And yeah, we want people to like us for who we are, but not everyone is going to like you for who you are. And that's okay, because for every person who doesn't like you who you are, there will be someone who does. And I guess all you got to do is just put yourself out there and give it a shot. like I said, who knows what will happen in this crazy experiment? Maybe I'll get bored and I'll stop blogging after a little bit, or maybe it's too late to get into blogging. Maybe that time has passed, and now is the age of, AI videos and stuff like that. Who knows? Not that I can complain. I've made it, if y'all remember my previous video, I made it very clear that I'm very pro AI content. And so if that means that, my actual videos get covered up by all the AI stuff, well, live by the sword, die by the sword. But you know what? I'm still going to go out swinging anyway. So, good chicken, good conversation. And I don't know. Nothing in life for certain. And with the way the world's going right now, we may all end up finding ourselves in a Fallout universe before too long. Who knows? So I guess my thought for dinner talk today, because I guess this is kind of turned into a dinner talk video. Doggone it. Chicken did not want to let go. Well, yeah, I guess just, learn to be comfortable in your own skin, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to finish off this jambalaya, and then I'll probably add a few more things or something or other. I don't know. We'll see. At this point, I'm just going to take to YouTube like I take to pasta. I'm going to throw it at the wall and see what sticks. And whatever doesn't stick, I'll just use it as improvised chopsticks. Anyway, y'all have a good one. Bye.